This is NerdFT Radio, where nerds full-time, explorers of the metaverse, surfers of the blockchain, and not in our mom's basement. I'm your host, RSG, AK. I told you One Piece was it, and I'm here with Crypto Crier, AK the Boy Scout Crier.
Yeah.
How are you, Crier?
You said we're not in mom's basement. I might be going back to my mom's basement because the prices are so bad. But covered in poison ivy.
Damn!
Awesome. Good.
Crier, when
prices
we told,
are down,
when people,
covered in poison ivy.
Crier,
September turned out to be a bad month for the old criers.
For the old Crier, I gotta tell you something. When people tell you to go touch grass, they mean grass, not poison ivy. Yeah. So please, next time, just be aware of your surroundings while you're out there. Yeah, I could not imagine the pain that you're in. But hey, listen, you're not a fighter,
painful,
you're a trooper.
Itchy as fuck. We just can't touch it.
All right, so we can probably have a 30-minute conversation about this, but itchiness is a level of pain.
Is it?
Yo, we can get into this right now. Think about it. So. If you're itchy, it's pain. You're in pain when you're itchy. It's a level of itch, or excuse me, a level of pain.
So,
and that's why you're itching. But
they're separate.
Your skin's irritated. So like you're itching it because you're in discomfort, which is pain.
You're like, oh, I'm so full of pain right now. I don't say that.
Yeah, but that's a form of pain. All right, whatever. This is not the type of podcast where we're talking about this. It's just like water isn't wet, but that's for another day, another time. Let's get into it. We got some really cool topics to talk about. Starting off with Deadfellaz. We've had Psych on multiple times on the podcast, and he's mentioned what's to come for Deadfellaz. And the one thing that you and I have both been eagerly waiting is their trading card game that should be coming out very soon. And we've been getting teasers for the last, let's say, week, 2 weeks, and we officially have a date, which is, I'm pretty sure, September 8th, when what do you want to call this, Crier? Like the pre-sale of the game that's going to be coming out?
It's going to be like a release of packs.
What's going on? So the pricing on these, if you are a holder, of course, so for each Dead Fella or Dead Friend combo that you own, so if you have one Dead Fella and you have one Dead Friend, you're going to be able to purchase up to 3 vaults at $13 each and purchase up to 100 additional vaults at 75 USD each. If you own a Dead Fella, for each Dead Fella that you own, you can purchase 1 vault of 13 and up to 100 for 75. For each Dead Friend, 1 vault 13, 100 additional. Legacy, so wallets that have minted Dead Friends or Dead Fellas.
Right.
You do not have to still hold. So just if you're a legacy wallet that minted either or, you'll be able to purchase 1 vault at $50 and purchase up to 100 additional for $90. Alphas, you can purchase up to 100 vaults for free. Damn! And general access, you can purchase up to 100 vaults for $100 each. Total first edition vault supply is capped at 30,000, and no other first edition cards will be ever released. Collectors only sales period will begin on the 8th of September, and general access will begin after 48 hours on the 10th of September.
Yep.
Crier, I'm going to say something.
Go for it.
Really quick. Those prices, the $13, yeah, I'm game. The $50, yeah, I'm game. Even the $100 for the amount of cards, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to get a boatload of cards if you're
getting 450 cards per
Damn.
vault, which is a lot of cards.
Man. It's a lot of cards, right? It's a lot of cards. You're going to receive a lot of things, but the one thing that kind of scares me a little is we just don't have gameplay. When I still remember like seeing the beta and the alpha of Marvel Snap and me getting excited for it. So obviously Psych has an awesome job showing little animations and whatnot, but it's not the actual gameplay. We always make fun of it when there is a video game coming out, and at the bottom it says this is not actual game footage, and you're like, God damn it, give me the game footage so I know what I'm buying. So that kind of worries me. Dead Friends and Deadfellaz have been obviously down just like any other NFT has been. If I'm not mistaken, they're at 0.18 right now, and Dead Friends are at 0.04, 0.03, maybe 0.05. For them to drop this before even the game is out, it worries me a little bit. But Crier, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, we talked a little bit with Syke. We're going to have him on next week to talk about a little bit more in depth.
Alpha.
But I think it's going to be pretty interesting on the side of it. That we talked about the gameplay mechanics. It's going to be very short games. They're going to be like 5-minute long games. It's going to be a digital game, so I do think trying to going after the I can play this while I'm on my phone super easily.
Pooping.
It's not going to be pooping. There's not going to be a lot of super in-depth, and we've seen other trading card games. We have seen Parallel come out. We've interviewed them a couple times. They've gone the route of very more, like a lot more strategy, very in-depth, sweaty competition type move, where they're going the opposite, where it's very like casual and still but a fun trading card loop. I value your sentiment on that too, where we don't see a lot of gameplay loop mechanics yet. What are we actually going to expect from it? But I'm excited to see it because we've talked with our previous 2 episodes. We're talking about with just games in general with Syke, and he's been working on it since that previous episode, which was like 2 years ago or a year,
2 years.
like a year and a half or something like that. Crazy. I think they have definitely put a lot of time into it. And it's all hush. They're very tight-lipped on everything around it. So I also didn't get to squeeze a lot of information out of them, but I do think it's something to be interested in, and especially for the first pack that's only $13. That's that's really cheap for that amount of cards. First of all, and the first edition, whatever. If it's gonna be, the artwork's gonna be awesome, I'm sure, because that their artwork is awesome. But for that price, I definitely will be buying the lower, at least the one. And I think of that too is there's 30,000 of them. I think these will probably sell very quickly, especially if they're costing $13.
Yeah.
That doesn't even get all 10K Deadfellaz can't even get one pack. Right there isn't very many. I do think that there probably should be quite a bit of demand just based on the pricing for them, because even looking at like Parallel Alpha or something like that, the gameplay is super great, but the cards they just released their game packs for on base, and if they were 0.1 a piece, right, for the starter deck. That's $150. So that's
how many cards came into it?
Huh?
How many cards came in that starter deck?
40. So you get like
there you go.
Yeah, like you definitely have a lot more of a price point. There is a possibility of them making you that money back, because you can then sell the echoes of the cards if you're playing. Absolutely. And you're earning stuff like that. So they're going a different play route. So they're not really comparing apples and oranges here, but just general looking at any card game, a pack of cards for any card game out right now is $6-7. They're not cheap. So I do think the route that they're going for, especially for the first bundle pack for holders, is very cheap. And if you are interested in playing a game like this, getting a Deadfella for a 0.18 and then getting a bunch of packs is way cheaper.
Or even go the other route of getting a dead friend instead.
Because they get you the same. It's the same
bucks
price
as well. Yeah, $13 as well. You go to Deadfellaz.
You get more if you have the combo. You get 2 or 3 or something like that, or you get, what was it again?
So if you have the combo of a dead friends and a dead fella, why do I keep saying dead friends first? Dead fella first, dead friends. You get a combo that you can purchase up to 3 vaults at $13 each. Now, if you only own a dead friend and one, only a dead fella, 1 vault at 13. For each dead friends that you own, 1 for 13. So on my end, I'll give an example. I'm pretty sure I'm at 7 dead fellas and like 9 or 8 dead friends. I'll be able to go into the vault of the 3 up to 3 because of that combo. So if you have the combo, better. If you only have one or the other and you're trying to go the cheaper route, I would say go grab a dead friends instead. And of course, if you're on the legacy side and you don't have either or right now, it's just $50 and you'll get 1. What's really funny, I actually never minted a Deadfellaz. The way I got into Deadfellaz was I sent money, ETH, to the Deadfellaz wallet and just hope to God that Syke and Betty sent me 4 Deadfellaz, excuse me. That's how it was back in the day. That was really funny. But one thing before, I have some opinion on what's going on and how people are viewing this. I would love to just showcase the medium a little bit. At the end, there's a FAQ, and this is actually pretty funny. Is the sale in ETH? Yes. ETH amount will be set at the USD amount listed above. Is the 100 vault limit per wallet? Yes. Is the legacy access included in the collectors only period? Yes. Why are the vaults so cheap? Accessibility to early supporters. Will the game be play to win? No. Will the game be fun? That's a great question. Yes. Will the game be focused on players making money? No. Will the game be free to play upon release? Yes. Will the cards give me personal access to exclusive features? Yes. Now, this is the most important one. What platforms are initially being focused on? PC and mobile. The mobile part, phenomenal. What will the game be rated? We're targeting teens and adults. What is considered ultra rare? Under 1%. From all of this, the funny one is, will this game be fun? Yes. And the number two, which is my favorite of these, is the mobile aspect of it. At the end of the day, when I think of a trading card game, as much as I know you're a fan of your PC and you want on your PC, trading
I would much
games,
rather play a card game on my mobile. For sure.
Okay, great. We're on the same wavelength.
I like Parallel and it's super fun, and I play it on there. I play PC, but one of the reasons I got really into all these other like Hearthstone and stuff like that was because it's mobile and I can carry it around and do that stuff. So even though it's mobile, I generally still play on my iPad or whatever, but I definitely feel that is key because 70% of users are mobile only nowadays. So you're cutting out a massive player base if you're not supporting mobile. I do think Parallel will eventually support mobile. It would be crazy not to, just because you're missing out on a huge player base. But I do think that they've tried to master that other side of it first, the PC and the gameplay and the strategy, and it's still beta and whatever. But going directly to mobile is definitely the key.
I hope that is. I would assume beta will probably hit. This is my assumption. We'll probably hit PC first, but hopefully we go on the mobile side as well. So the last thing I will say, what is a vault? Let's actually get into the details of it. I know you mentioned the 450 random cards. So a vault is a box of 9 cases. Each of the 9 cases contains 90 packs. Each of the 10 packs contains 5 cards. The total amount of cards when all packs within the vault are ripped is a massive 450 random first edition cards for the use upon game release. Each vault also includes 1 random ultra rare card for use upon game release. In conclusion, your boy is going ham in a day. I'm going to buy them all. I'm buying
2 days, but
bajillion.
I definitely think that's...
See, viewers, our listeners, I actually pay attention to when you guys are listening, because you're going to be listening one day after. I'm kidding. But yes, go ahead.
But yeah, again, just for the pricing points, again, like it's any trading card game that's a crazy low price to start off with, $13, especially if you already have. And even
that's crazy.
Even just buying a Dead Friends, like we said, it's 0.03 or 0.04. That is what right now is $80 or not even $80, like $50-$60. So getting one of those and getting a $13 pack is pretty much just cheaper than buying a general admission pack. I definitely think the
$64, 0.0398 is the lowest.
So buying a Dead Friends and then paying $13 to get a pack instead of paying $100 for general admission is cheaper. And again, I don't think they'll make it to general admission if they're only.
I don't either. The one thing I will say, so a lot of people I'm in a few chats on the Deadfellaz side as well as just NFT overall. A lot of people saying that price point of $100. It's not that it's a lot because they're not reading into how many they're getting. It just feels like the sentiment around just NFTs at the moment just feels like it's just bad right now. So when they see a price point of $100, 75, 13, and it's not free of holders, they shouldn't be taking more money from us. Like, you guys have to a lot of people need to understand, like, how else are they supposed to be making money? I understand they made a bunch at the beginning of it, but it's been 2 years. They've been pouring money into,
and they haven't taken VC
money. They're doing all these stuff. So they have to make it somehow. So this is a great way. I personally believe it. And I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't even know how many cards were in these vaults. And for you, Crier, to tell me how many there are and me reading it now, for $13 and you're complaining. Like, I just think that's ridiculous right now. So again, at the end of the day, even if it's $13 and the game sucks, then I'm going to be pissed. But if the game's really good, we're going to be looking back at these $13 and be like, holy crap, that could have actually been one of the best purchases we've made if this game pops off something like Parallel. Again, when I look at Parallel, when I look at Marvel Snap, when you look at the back end of Marvel Snap, Marvel, it's a massive IP that everyone recognizes and everyone loves, cares for. Others people don't. But again, when you release a game like that, a lot more people are going to play because they know that IP. Now on the Parallel side, it's a brand new IP. No one knew it. The game was so good that people are playing, streaming, and talking about it. That's what's great about that. When I compare what NFTs can do, I look at indie games like the Hades, like Hollow Knight, like all those games that people like. There's no backup, like there's no storytelling, there's no IP that we know of prior to the games being released.
Just murdered
and they just completely murder on the scene, on the spot, because the gameplay is so phenomenal. When you go back and think of Castle Crashers,
I mean, all the huge IP doesn't start as huge IP.
Exactly.
It just starts as super early. And the first Zelda game is, it's a little green guy.
Ooh, yeah, what the hell's going on? Or Mario or whatever. So it just takes that. It takes that one big leap, that one big chance, that one, like that little piece of hope for people to catch in. And if you catch the wave of a very good game, a very good show, a very good movie, a very good anything, things can pop off from the creator side to an IP to anything that we talk about. So if they hit it here, we're, again, like I said, we're going to look at this as like one of those turning points for Deadfellaz, as well as those $13 that you're complaining about, that you're going to get a bunch of cards. So if you're in the gaming side, this is definitely something you should be looking into. This is actually a great way to maybe even get into NFTs if you haven't been involved in NFTs, or if you have been away from NFTs for a little while and you still have that dead fella or dead friends just in the vault, just chilling there. Trying to get into something like this allows you to have fun with it. When we got into NFTs, we were promised games, we were promised the metaverse, we were promised all these things, and things are coming to fruition. And one of them, hopefully, is this. And it's fun, again, from Crier, from me playing Hearthstone to Parallel, from me playing Marvel Snap. They're video games. We're nerds. If you catch the wave, this could be a lot of fun. So I'm super excited. And Psych, like Crier said, will be on the podcast next week. And that'll be the first 3-time appearance for anyone on the podcast. Damn. All right. So let's talk about something else. And this one, Crier's going to be laughing at the whole entire time. Justin Bieber is back in the NFT game. But this time, he's not just buying random, very expensive floor apes for no apparent reason. This time, he's going to be partnering up with a company called Another Block, which will be releasing the song vibe. I just said the song name, but prior to saying song, the song company as an NFT. So how this is going to work and why it's getting all the buzz right now. Justin Bieber, producer, is selling royalties for the song company as NFT. So what that means is you're going to be able to buy up to 2,000. If you want to buy them all, that'd be just crazy. But there's going to be 2,000 of these NFTs for this song company. And if you own this, you're going to receive 0.0005% of future, not previous, future streaming proceeds from the digital service providers like Apple Music, Tidal, and Spotify. So the really crazy thing about this is what the cost is going to be. When we look at this cost 2 years ago, we'd think this is a steal. But when you really crunch down the numbers, is it a steal? If you're a super fan of Justin Bieber, probably it's a steal. But for others, probably not. It is 0.017 ETH, which is about $28. And you're going to receive some royalties every 6 months. And there is a chance that kind of changes. But Crier, let me ask you something. We broke down the math.
Yeah.
Give me the math.
Give me the math. The math on it was, since the song was released in 2015, there was 500 million streams. And with the
that's just Spotify.
On just Spotify, yes.
YouTube has 660. Yeah, let's just do Spotify. Let's go ahead.
It was just for the pricing of Spotify that broke down to around $2 million in royalty fees paid out from that 1% broken up to 2,000 NFTs is roughly $20,000 split between that is around $10 since the song was created. You would have earned $10
in 8 years
if you owned one of these.
So now that's Spotify. Let's just say Spotify has 500 million on that one. Let's say Apple Music has the same. So let's say 40, and let's do Tidal probably like what, 6? Like not a lot of people are on Tidal anymore. So 6 listeners. So you're looking at around 40. Let's just even throw YouTube in there. You would be receiving what, another 20? So $60 in 8 years. You bought it for $28, but unfortunately, a crowd, you mentioned this prior to the episode. Think about it. This song came out in 2015. Its prime of the song was front loaded, typically how all songs are, unless unfortunately something happens to the artist and everyone starts listening, or if you're the Beatles, or if a lot of things could happen and people just start listening to your music all over again out of nowhere. But if you're a super fan of Justin Bieber, this is something that you get because you want to own a part of a song and you're going to get the royalty of it. But for the individual that's coming in here to make money, I'm going to be honest with you, Chief, it's probably not the best idea.
Yeah. I would definitely say it doesn't look too hot. You're getting maybe $1 a year at max if this is how it goes from this point on. It's just a super tiny amount of 0.0005% is literally nothing. So even if you owned like all of them, you're getting 1%. So I just think the way they're doing it is very disingenuous, right? Like you're not actually getting a lot of the royalties of the song. I think they're just trying to find a way to make, they own that royalty and they're trying to figure out a way to make more money off of it, essentially, is what I feel like they're doing. So there's a lot of companies that are going into the music industry route, and I do think that there is value there. It's just this one is deceptive in the sense that you're not going to be earning anything. Again, like how you said, if you're a super fan or something like that, it might be something worth grabbing, but I don't think that it's worth anything.
Like you said, if you're a super fan, 100%. This is actually, I listen, if you told me something about Marvel, if I was going to get 0.000, even throw another zero in there,
that rev share, baby,
of Spider-Man or Deadpool or Doctor Strange, like as much as I know I'm not going to get anything back from it, I'm going to get pennies to the dollar. I 1,000% am buying that. So again, I see it. If you are a super fan, let's see what happens. Let's figure out if it actually does sell out. It'd be pretty interesting to see it not sell out, to see what goes on there.
I feel like it'll probably will sell out, but just like it'll be people
right?
who are
you can buy with credit cards. So a lot of if it catches up with the, what are they called? What are the Justin Bieber's fans called? Bieberins. There is something. I just don't know what it is. I think my girlfriend was definitely one of those earlier.
Justice Bieber.
Years. I don't fucking know. We're just gonna go. This is why we're not a music podcast, so we're good right here. But yeah, it should be interesting. Let's see what happens.
Podcast now.
It's a shoe podcast. Let's just leave it at that and go get your $20 if the song just randomly just pops off out of nowhere in 8 years. So we shall see.
It's a good transition into the shoe podcast, because I claimed my Crocs box. Ooh. They're selling for 2 times the value of what I paid for the shoe, and just in general.
What are you talking about? There's no way.
Yeah, they're already at 0.1 for the Croc box.
Not anymore. It's at 0.06.
That's still more than the value of that's more than $99.
It is at 0.06, the lowest one that someone has listed it. And that would get you $106. And we bought ours at $100, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
so
right.
The really crazy part about this is, and by the way, someone actually bought one for 0.09. If you would have sold it, Cry, did you sell it?
No, I didn't sell it. I just claimed
mine. He said he was going to sell it. So we'll see. We'll stay tuned if Cryer actually sells this or not. So it's actually really cool how this is going on. A lot of individuals talked a lot of shit. By the way, number 1, they sold out. Number 2, you got an NFT. Number 3, the NFT cost more than you just purchased it. And for the individuals that bought it for $225, guess what? I'm going to give you back $106. So you actually bought those rainbow colored Crocs for around what, $14+. So you should be probably happy. And if you're still upset, I don't know what to tell you. You can probably sell those Crocs. People are already hitting my line on the Twitter side, on the X side, posting, hey, I need these types of shoes. I missed out on the sale, this and that. I actually have a bunch of people doing that. I've seen people, and I'm like, I told you so. You should have freaking bought them. I'm actually wearing Crocs right now. I got some new little, what are those little things called?
Gibbets, right?
Gibbets. I got a bunch of One Piece ones right
gibbets.
now. Look at these bad boys. They're phenomenal.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. You want to see the other one too?
The holes. There's no holes left.
I got the whole squad here. These are my walking Luffy shoes. That you got to make it like Luffy, right? But
disaster.
It's pretty funny how it's going. But let's talk about the last thing that we have on the agenda before we nerd out, because I think this nerding out part is going to be a lot of fun for both of us. Google will allow ads for NFT games starting September 15th. We've said this on the podcast before about Google as well as Apple allowing NFT games on their app stores. We already got that check. But number 2, this is the next check that we're going into, and hopefully Apple follows. When you go on these app stores, you get a bunch of ads. You get, hey, go to this game, go to that game. When you go into games, you get a bunch of ads as well. Google is finally saying that you will be able to, NFT companies that have games will be able to advertise their said games there. They actually weren't ever allowed to do that. So that's just the next step of people being able to learn and pretty much
hate NFTs even more.
NFTs more. Yeah, I was going to say that, but I was trying to be positive there. But again, when you play games, you get a bunch of ads. At times you get caught with one. You're like, damn, that game looks fun. And you click it and you play it and you love it. Let's see if this is it. So now we're going to find out.
How many times has that ever happened to you?
It's happened to me so many damn times. It's ridiculous. I can show you how many. I can actually show you.
You have too
right
many
now.
Games on your phone.
I have one.
I've never clicked one of those. I've never played one of the ad games.
18, 27, 36, 45. I have 45 games that are like that on my phone right now. Typically, what I do
advertiser's wet dream.
Oh, I'm 110%. It's honestly crazy, Car. Again, when you think about how much money like a Candy Crush makes a day, if I'm not mistaken, at one point in the last few years, Candy Crush was making like close to $1 million to $2 million every single day just on transactions and whatnot. And that's with ads or without ads. So when you put into perspective just an advertisement of an NFT game in a very popular game or on their app store, it could actually bring in a bunch of people. Now, the one catch is obviously number one, the game has to be fucking good. So for you founders, please make a goddamn good game. Number two, the actual video, the ad of said game needs to be good as well. That's where you guys come in on the bottom saying this is not actual gameplay and you trick everyone and you get them to play your game and it's actually good. Hopefully you do that. Or number three, you go the honest route and you just show gameplay and it's that good that people actually go over there and actually play your game. But it's interesting. It's fun. It's adoption. It's getting into it. We're getting closer and closer. This is actually from a blog post from Google. NFT games that allow players to purchase in-game items like virtual apparel for a player's characters, weaponry, or armor with better stats consumed or used in a game to enhance the user's experience or aid users in advancing the game. So again, you're going to be able to literally advertise a bunch of stuff on this said store. And again, I really do think that this could lead to a lot of people. Just the one main catch. God damn, bro, please make a fun game so that when they go over there, they're not disappointed and then they just delete your game and they're like, I just wasted 50. By the way, I say 45 games on my phone, but I've gone over to the game. And they're like, damn, this is nothing like the little video I just saw and I deleted it. Again, shout out to them. Let's see what happens. And hopefully Apple follows. Crier.
That's right.
It's nerd time.
Nerd it up.
You want to start or do I want to start? I'm going to let you go because I'm going to go ham. So go ahead. What have you been up to? You've been playing that game that everyone's talking about right now. What's that game?
And playing Starfield. And Starfield is probably one of the best games I've played
Ooh.
ever. I am a massive fan. It's if you like RPGs, that's like a Skyrim's Fallout on steroids because there is just insane amount of stuff to do. It gives me like Mass Effect vibes, except just one Mass Effect game is maybe like 1 to 2% of how much stuff you can do in this one. It's just unbelievable how I've been playing for a little while and I haven't even like scratched the surface of it. I feel like it's crazy. They did a really good job on itemization. It's all randomized, so you get the sense you're not gonna just randomly find the best loot somewhere randomly, or it's the same places drop the same things. They did a really good job on that. The way that you travel around and your spaceship is really well done. I think some of the games that are in the same genre, everyone was always, what was that game that was really big? I can't remember the name of it right now, but there was one that it's just a space exploration game where everyone was.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I bought it in college with my buddy Cope Dealer with Johnny.
No one played
and it was so good though. I had such a good time for a month. I had such a good time.
It was super it got like super overrated because he kept saying it was like multiplayer and all this stuff.
And they finally do. By the way, it made a little comeback this year actually, and it made a comeback. But a lot of people were playing it because they knew Starfield was coming out, so they just wanted to get ready for it. God damn it! What's the game?
But overall, the
No
gameplay
Man's
is
Sky.
No Man's
Sky. There it is.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job on that, and the way you travel throughout the system is super fun. It's always that with any Bethesda game, you have that idea of, are you going to be a good guy, a bad guy? The moral compass of your character is way different, so you can have multiple playthroughs and choose.
Kind of like a little Red Dead Redemption style, where you get to pick if you want to be a good guy, bad guy.
They're always really big about that. I was always like a thief. I always did.
Of course you were.
Thievery.
Of course you were.
And this one's really cool because if you choose to do that route and have a low moral compass on the gameplay, you can go up to a ship and shoot the engines out, hijack the ship, take the ship, and sell it for parts and stuff like that. Like they made it just so immersive. It's very, it's just really, really well done.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's for PC right now as well as Xbox. So for you PlayStation motherfuckers, you might have to dabble on over to the dark side, baby. All right, Crier. I told you.
I wasn't that worried. He's got his hat, his extra Luffy hat.
One Piece. One Piece. I'm wearing two hats right now. Luffy and the gang just took over Netflix right now. 86 countries, #1 show in 86, breaking its own record at 84, breaking the other record, which was 83 for Stranger Things and Wednesday. Luffy and the gang are #1 in 86 countries, and the show, Crier, is so good that I have people that have been bashing me for the last year that I got into One Piece, saying I'll never watch it, this and that, telling me how good the show is. They're having fun with it. I have text messages from Carolina, my girlfriend, saying, can we watch the show already because you're doing other dumb shit? And I'm like, Carolina, of course. This is like the greatest thing ever. This is the greatest experience ever. I need to watch it now. My parents are watching it. My friends are watching it. The world's watching it. And hopefully, I know you haven't. Of course you haven't. Hopefully this leads to people enjoying the book, enjoying the manga, enjoying the anime as well. Because there is some scenes I will say that the anime, me personally, will say it's like far beyond greater in the actual anime. But the way that they brought it all together is, I have tears in my eyes in multiple of these scenes. So I'm super happy that a lot of my friends that would have never watched this show finally get a chance to truly immerse themselves in this is a bold take, the greatest storytelling, the greatest story of all time. I'm telling you right now. #2, Invincible. #3, anything Marvel's ever done. And I guess you can put Dune in there if you want, just because I like you. But yes, One Piece is out. The One Piece is real. And we're going ham. And by the way, there's actually one thing that happened in the 8 episodes. I've only watched 6, if I'm not mistaken. It happens in the 4th episode that it took me personally 300 episodes to find out. And you motherfuckers found out in 4 episodes. And I'm very salty about. But other than that, the one last thing I will say that I'm a little not ticked off, but just damn, they should have done it a little bit better, was Garp, which is the Vice Admiral, the Marine Vice Admiral. I feel like I wish he was just a little bit more funnier, like just throw some jokes in there because he is very funny in the anime, in the manga as well. And they put it on a serious tone instead. But I am seeing him laughing more and whatnot. And the early parts, he was a little serious. But other than that, the CGI is phenomenal. That's what a lot of people were worried about. Luffy stretching and the Sea Beast and Zoro's fighting and a bunch of stuff like that. So they're doing phenomenal job. It's really cool how they're just like condensing everything together. Again, you're going in these 8 episodes, you're getting 40 to 50 to 60 episodes of the anime. So it's crunching it down. They're taking things out, they're adding things. Kobe's getting more screen time. There's a bunch of things that we just never saw as well. So it does a really good job, just like The Last of Us did, where they added some parts that were never seen in the actual game, and it still wraps it up beautifully and well. Crier, the One Piece is real. Please check it out. I would love
can't
for
take
your
you seriously with
that's fine. Don't worry. Don't take me serious. That's what's lovely about this, that you can't ever take Luffy serious.
We'll try it out. Maybe we'll see.
I love it.
I couldn't get past like the first couple episodes. I watched like.
I know we're gonna do this one. Let's.
I'll try it. I'll try it,
and we're good to go. But other than that. Homework's piling up. By the way, Ahsoka episode 4 is out. Episode 5 is actually going into theaters, in select theaters in the United States. That's how big this episode is. I don't know what that means. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen the 4th episode. Literally, when we're done with this podcast, I'm going to go watch it. I'm super excited. Ahsoka is my favorite character. You guys all know that. But other than that, Groot season 2 is out. And now we're out because the episode's over. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of NerdFT Radio.
Peace.
Peace.
Radio.
Love radio. Goodbye.
This guy.